Welcome to Finding Monster Right, the show about finding monsters, right?
Saune serun tarniwang ejar. Se wintu teri serun isarniwang ejar.
I'm Adam.
Oiru saiwa ali.
And we are going full. We're going deep into the heart of Pandora.
We will not go into Pandora's heart. We will not transgress on the sacred boundaries to which the sky demons are not permitted to enter. You are like a baby.
I was hoping this was going to be a 40-minute monologue. I just sit here like Sam Worthington.
Oh gosh.
and be berated. Yeah.
The sky people will be berated as the Navi will it. Okay. Alright, this is getting exhausting. Hi, I'm Allie. Welcome to Finding Monster Right and stuff. I'm going to dress in something a little more normal really quick.
Yeah.
And today's episode is titled...
Going Eywa, Pandora's hive mind. What's she doing?
Yeah, what's she doing?
What's she up to?
What's she up to?
Nice Stanford hoodie.
I've changed into a Stanford hoodie, yes.
Yeah, you've reverted from your avatar back into...
I've sometimes you gotta learn that the dream is the waking, and the waking is the dream, and you gotta jump out of that dream wake and into the wake dream and open your eyes and stuff.
Yeah, James Cameron Avatar, 2009, and it's still a hot topic 13 years later.
More like hot cat people. No, that's gross. So we rewatched the movie for this episode.
Yes, me last time I saw it was in theaters.
Yeah, and what did you think of the movie?
I thought it was a fine time. The world building I think holds up. The Avatar Pandora planet world building, where I have many questions about the Earth world building.
I didn't get that invested this time.
No, I can tell.
I'm only.
You're only mostly. If your skin was blue, you'd be in perfect.
I covered myself in eyeshadow like a Navi who broke into her mom's makeup cabinet, and I tied a braid into a black wig. And,
you are like a baby.
You are like a baby. Not knowing what to do. From another planet, like a baby is. Hey, Mamma Mia!
Mamma Mia!
This is gonna get racist real quick, folks, for a race that doesn't exist, so I think we're fine. So, yeah, no, I liked it this time around, now that I'm not like a teenage douchebag that has to hate everything by default.
Yeah, no, I acknowledge the flaws, but I think the third act is pretty solid action-wise.
Really? I did not like the third act.
You don't like the third act?
I think it kind of fell apart then. But, yeah, no, it was very colonialist in its messaging, I feel.
Yeah.
It was masquerading as anti-colonialism, but it was, like, very much white savior.
Well,
like
my issue that I pointed out was that the characters don't really have a lot of personality.
They have personality, it's just very cliche personality.
It's something that will not last. Like, I was rewatching the movie, I'm like, oh yeah, there's other characters.
Yeah.
and I think they will similarly go through my brain easily.
I don't know, the third act for me it just felt like it turned into an action movie all of a sudden, and it just turned into Jake Sully like consolidating his conquest of the Na'vi in like a soft power way versus a hard power way.
Yeah, the fact that he is able to unite all of the forces of the planet in one day,
yeah,
like 2,000 strong, is pretty comically bad.
You want to take that again?
Nope.
Okay. So, yeah, that's not our topic, though, is what we thought.
No, we want to talk about what Pandora itself thought.
Yeah, we want to talk about Eywa.
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 Eywa is a mother goddess, a nature goddess. Not unlike many earth goddesses.
Hang on. The only way to connect to Eywa is to go back into my avatar form.
You're going to be sweating so much.
I already am. I'm doing hand gestures. So, Eywa is an emergent consciousness that emerges from the fact that all of the plant and most of the animal life on Pandora is connected through this kind of informational network of chemical signals that are being sent between trees, and as they describe in the movie, there are many more trees than there are nerve cells in a human brain.
10 to the 5th.
10 to the 5th? 10 to the 12th trees.
Yes, right.
Each one makes 10 to the 5th connections to other trees, which is more than a neuron, meaning that essentially a super intelligence has emerged from these trees, and the Na'vi worship that entity as a goddess.
And not only is it connected on all the creatures of the land, also all the creatures of the air, and the little sea jellyfishes that float around.
And probably the creatures of the sea.
Yeah, we did not get into that in this film.
We might. My question is she evil? That was my original question, because, like, the film presents, and I want you to take this seriously.
Okay, yes. I'll as best as I can.
So, the film presents her as just, like, this unambiguous big good character. It's, like, it's a very simple good versus evil story.
Yeah.
And I'm not here to jump on the whole, like, train of, like, oh, the Quaritch is a good guy because he's a Republican. No. I'm tired of those people. I'm sick of those people, and I hate them.
You're not in any position to jump around.
I'm not in any position to jump. I am exactly in the position to jump around.
Yes.
Adam. That's wrong. No, Quaritch is still the bad guy. But Eywa might also be a bad guy, and upon doing a little bit more further research and considering some thoughts about it, I've realized that Eywa is evil, and she is right.
So let's break that down.
Well, first off, I see you're open to the Avatar wiki. Where's your computer's USB? Because I've got the
Oh yeah, you're gonna plug in your hair.
Whoa. You got to clear your search history.
Is that why her name is Eywa? Because that's what you shout when you plug in. Eywa.
I don't think so. Eywa. Oh, it is. Anyway, so the Na'vi are humanoid. They've got 2 arms, 2 legs,
And a tail.
and a tail. Well, yeah, 2 arms, 2 legs.
2 butts.
No, 1 butt.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
One butt made of 2 parts.
2 tails.
1 tail.
2 tails.
Yes. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not like in the normal way.
No, one's on their head, like Mewtwo.
Yes. Yes, it is a head tail, kind of. It is kind of the same idea as a tail, but on the top part.
It hurts if you yank it.
It hurts if... Yeah.
Yeah, a tail.
So the Na'vi don't look like any other animal on the planet. They don't have the opercula that let them breathe.
They don't have, like, the nose, the chest nose, as you pointed out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The opercula, the nair things on the collarbone area.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have 2 sets of eyes. They don't have 6 limbs.
Yeah, which is very strange. It does not seem like it's a better horse.
It doesn't have to be better. It just has to... evolution doesn't make better organisms. Evolution just makes the organism that can do as well as it can for the least budget.
In that case, it does not look like it has the least budget.
That's true, no.
Yeah.
A 6-legged organism would have a tremendously higher budget of energy expenditure for no real reason.
What's funny is that Oh, I see your tail. I did not catch that the first time around.
No. I tied a belt to my... I tied a scarf around my waist, and I tied a belt to the scarf to make a tail. And the reason why I did not just use jeans for that same purpose was because I wanted to be more flexible so I could do things like this. You are like a baby.
Okay, got it. So yeah, they don't have the limbs like that. They don't have the eyes. And yeah, it's very clear that they're a separate, that they're a separate entity.
They are, I feel, maybe intentionally created by Eywa.
You think that they were created in Eywa's image?
In a sense, yes. In the mental sense. I think Eywa drove the creation of intelligent life somewhere on the savannas of Pandora.
Well, we know about the Tree of Souls. And the weeping willows of sorts that you can plug in here ancestor thoughts, intelligent thoughts of the other Na'vi.
Right, okay, so you're saying that she's, like, saving all of the...
If Na'vi speaks a language, it's one that can also translate what the Na'vi are saying.
Well, it's like how octopuses aren't intelligent on the same level as us because they only live for a year or 2, and so they don't really have the means to live a long time and develop a language and communicate to their young.
Correct.
The means by which to make tools and stuff. So what Eywa has done is make a system where that is irrelevant.
Absolutely.
because she has created a biological kind of immortality. But anyway, she created the Na'vi to be intelligent just so she would have someone to talk to, basically.
Yeah, so she could have some conversations.
Functionally. Or also, like...
She was tired of talking to the hammerhead rhinos.
So, does a complex enough system of information like that become self-aware inherently?
Are you saying, does it become self-aware, or is it born self-aware?
Well, it's the same question.
What's the question?
Does it just happen that it becomes self-aware, or did something have to make it like that?
Okay, got it. As in something swings by and activates?
Yeah, can this intelligence of, like, plant brain cells talk to each other? So if you get enough plants over an entire planet, does that make a brain necessarily, or did something have to, like, make a computer out of plants intentionally? Like a higher intelligence?
I see what you're saying. The nature aspect of Pandora makes me think it's the former. Is that no one came along and did it. It did it on its own.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Which really, I mean, it speaks to the evolution of the entire planet, and in the same way that Earth, each of the pieces came into play, versus an ancient astronaut's theory.
Right, okay. Yeah. Well, that's good to know, because that gives us an idea about what Eywa is and what her kind of origin is. And I do want to take a note that we're going to use the words plants and animals a lot in this.
And you do not think that's actually accurate?
That is not accurate, no. Because, ding dong. What's this? Seatbelts, everyone. So, when we say plant, we're referring to a member of the kingdom Plantae.
Okay.
That is not... What is a plant?
I see what you're saying. Plants defined by the things growing outside on Earth.
No, okay. What is a plant, Adam?
A plant is something that's green.
All right, so this is a good example. This is a good job of doing what I wanted you to do, which was...
Is it a tree? Is it a lettuce? Is it a broccoli? Are all these plants?
Yes.
Is a frog a plant? It's green.
You resemble an infant.
Please tell me.
So, a plant is an organism that falls within the taxonomic clade Plantae, meaning of the two most distantly related organisms within that group, it is either the common ancestor or one of its descendants.
Okay.
And what we call a plant, just because a plant is like a genre of thing, doesn't mean that if you see like a sessile photosynthetic organism on another planet, that doesn't make it a plant. That makes it a thing that's like a plant, but a plant is more like you than that alien plant is like a plant.
Right. I think alien's the key word there.
Yeah.
As you zoom out in the taxonomical naming conventions, ultimately those are Earth organisms.
Yeah.
And they're way further connected than, and you've made this point before about Superman.
Yeah, right.
Like how he has nothing to do with us.
No, yeah. You are more like a maple tree than you are like one of the Na'vi.
Right. That tracks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If it's tracking you want to do.
If it's tracking you want to do. What you must do is you must find the weird gazelle monster, and you must kill it, and you must say that it will go to Eywa when it dies, so that we can hear gazelle monster memories.
Yeah, no, that tracks.
And also, you should put your mouth over its breathing hole so you can take its last breath, so that it can become one of the people. Omatakaya.
When you ride it, make sure you put your feet directly into its breathing chest.
Right into the breathing hole, so that it gets that gnarly jungle foot stink. That gnarly jungle foot stink. I was hoping I would get you more clicks.
You've been clicking on... I think you're like 0-5 with clicking on the right letter.
I click so much on this show, I take it out.
Normally.
Yeah, I take it out before I say anything.
Just don't take them out this time, and you'll be fine.
Oh, good. Eywa has heard us! Okay, good. So,
all right, let's move forward. We have defined what a plant is and what a plant is not.
Right, good. So, when she made the Na'vi, or if she directed evolution at all to create a Na'vi, which is what we're presupposing.
Yeah, that these peoples, these blue peoples, she made them
So did she know about humans ahead of time, or was that just a coincidence?
You think beforehand she had like a big old like telescope that she was poking out around?
Yeah, or maybe she was just able to like beep 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 boop beep boop compute like the most efficient kind of savannah hunter that would develop from like the pro-lemurus type creatures.
Or one of those deep space like satellites. Not satellites, explorers that they send out that have that gold plate on them that define what a person
Like a
looks like.
pioneer plaque?
Yeah,
Did Eywa read the pioneer plaque?
Eywa read the pioneer plaque.
Okay, and she was like,
and then she's like,
yeah,
all right,
I could do one of them.
I can do that one day. Just give me like 100 years.
I could do it in a hundo.
A hot hundo.
I could do it in a hot hundo, yeah. It would take a lot longer if we were doing it the right way, but I'll cheat. I'll just make it like a cat person, I guess. I don't know. Fuck it.
Yeah, no, she flipped over the Pioneer plane. There was a piece of DeviantArt on the other side, and she's like, I'll just do this. No problem.
So...
yeah, so it sounds like I would assume that the intention is that it's a great coincidence that these are bipedal, human almost shaped creatures.
Yeah. The fact that Pandora has large amounts of unobtainium, which is a room temperature superconductor.
Yes.
Meaning it has amazing, amazing properties that could revolutionize earthly technology.
And it's called unobtainium because it's like a theoretical joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, wouldn't it be crazy? Like, it'd be perfect if that thing exists. Unfortunately, it's unobtainium.
Right.
Yeah. So that's a big piece of Pandora's core ecosystem.
So, do you think that the fact that it is a superconducting chemical that is maybe carbon-based in some way, do you think that has something to do with the fact that these plants can talk to each other?
I would say absolutely.
That facilitate that.
You said superconductor, and yeah, it's literally we're conducting energy between things. And that the important thing that I read about Eywa is that the thing that the humans offset when in their presence there, and what the Navi believe is that everything's in equilibrium there. And so that unobtainium is part of that equilibrium equation. So I would think if even if things went perfectly smoothly and the humans were able to take the unobtainium no problem, I think that would have devastating effects across Pandora. So yes, I think that's absolutely part of this network.
Well, it was just like everything needs to be neat and proper, neat and proper. Everything must be, and nothing can be thrown off balance.
I like your early Disney side character voice for Eywa.
Bibbity bobbity boo. That's what it is.
Yeah,
She's
no,
just a fairy godmother to the Navi.
Which I think that's what their relationship is, to be fair.
Oh man, somebody call Christopher Hitchens. I'm pretty sure he's dead, and tell him that like fairy godmother is a great thing to call Jesus, because it's emasculating.
Yeah, no, if you think about it, the little puffballs look a lot like the pumpkin carriage.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's another thing. Those are flora fauna. Those are what they are called zooplankton on the Avatar wikis and stuff.
Or Bulbasaur.
And on the official Disney Pandorapedia, they say that the zooplankton like confound scientists, and it's like. Not really, though, because it's a different taxonomic system entirely.
Again, we have shattered that Earth organism chart.
Yeah,
We're in uncharted waters. Of course, there could be, and this is a pretty easy connection to make. In the same way that making hammerhead shark rhinos is pretty easy.
Of course, yeah. I'm afraid that sitting in this director's chair, like perched, is not.
I do not think it's good for the integrity of the chair.
No. The balance of the chair must be maintained.
I promise you, in the next five episodes, I will be the one in character.
Oh, please do.
We'll have to find something that hits.
So here's the thought: why can she transfer alien minds into avatars?
So that is a very good question, and there is a possible explanation. Is that in the same way that the Tree of Souls connects ancestors to the present day Navi, the roots can connect the nervous system of any living things.
Okay, how does it know what a nervous system is, though?
Why
are they chemically the same?
It's a good point. We, all the scientists in the movie use nervous system to describe what Eywa is doing. And then it seems to be a literal interpretation of it, too. When it actually ties into actual nervous systems.
Like, there's no reason why, like, all of the grand homologies of earthly life should be relevant to Pandoran life. Like, there should be no reason why they would all have, like, the same chirality of amino acids, for example. If they would even have something that would be analogous to amino acids. If they would have cells that are the same structure as our cells. If they would have, use adenosine triphosphate in their metabolism processes.
So it could be something to the tune of, kind of almost beyond the scientific life energies and into consciousness soul stuff.
What the fuck did you just say? I have no idea. You are babbling. You are talking like a wild Thanator yargling anti-Titanothere. We call the Thanator Pakulaka or something like that, which means a dry mouth. So scary.
I love how they have technically scientific names themselves.
Oh, Tayasina, Tibarakale, Etukakuto me. Now it just sounds like Jabba the Hutt.
You've lost the thread. So
I have lost the threat.
What I'm saying is that perhaps it's something greater than the scientific matter, in something more of consciousness.
It's magic.
It's magic.
Magic is just science we don't understand yet. Bullshit.
Exactly. It's science we don't understand yet, is what's going on with the Eywa and
well, that's what I was saying, so we're good.
Yeah, we're on the same page.
All right, dope.
All right.
I think we came to a conclusion. So,
are we getting to the point where this is a bad thing?
Yes, because here are my thoughts. I think she's holding the Na'vi back technologically.
Ooh, you think that the Na'vi, like, because they can just plug into all the animals around them, they're like, there's no reason for them to make a gun?
I assumed that she didn't want the Na'vi to develop philosophically. She didn't want them to start to develop atheism, essentially. She didn't want them to start to find out what she is and question why they worship her as a god because she had god delusions.
Yeah, well, perhaps I think there's something to be said there about, we've said this before about clerics in D&D. It's a different theological system when the powers are present. Yeah, like, that has a different weight to it.
Well, not atheist then, but like Maltheist. Or
right.
Honestly, you can turn it into atheism because she's not a god. She's an emergent intelligence based on trees, and she is vulnerable and she can be taken down.
We've pointed out the scientific explanation for it. Do you think that mentioning, you mentioned the...
She's a god in any way that matters, but it does have a scientific explanation that makes perfect sense.
To connect it to something you said earlier, do you think there's something to be said about the technological, like, freeze? Eywa keeping them from developing a Bronze Age, Iron Age, and stuff like that, using the pieces within her. That unobtainium that we mentioned is so important.
Well, if it stays on Pandora, I don't see what the problem is. But my thing is, I think she's keeping them away from agriculture specifically.
Okay.
This is what I came to. I don't think it's about, like, god delusions at all. That's what I originally thought. But I came to a different conclusion this time.
Agriculture.
Because, think about it. If you, like, clear a field and start planting corn, that's, like, Eywa's brain that they're fucking with now. Yeah. So, it's just, like, Eywa's in the middle of, like, brunch with, like... the other goddesses or something, and it's like, yeah, so I says to Jen, I says to her, listen, if he treats you like that again, what you gotta do is corn, and she said that was a good idea. Eywa, are you okay? I think Jake Sully is planting corn again, and it's just making me, oh man, I'm so mad I could corn.
The fact that the planet's all connected in pieces of that, it's literally in the same way that they hate it when the humans, like, are destroying trees and stuff like that. They hate it likely when the humans are literally would be replacing part of their ecosystem.
Yeah. And honestly, it's like if anyone, like, replaces, if you, like, I'm using corn as an example, but I'm saying, like, the Pandora equivalent of corn. Like, you take, like, you take the sacred fruit of the Geo plant, and you just plant a bunch of ale plants everywhere, and then all of a sudden she's just like ale, 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 and everyone's like, Eywa, Eywa, oh my god, calm down, send a rhino to take out the cornfields. I Sam Worthington.
Yeah, I was gonna say you reversed Sam Worthington yourself. You overwrote yourself with the more Australian.
The Sky People are coming, and they are very powerful. Hot dogs. Shit. Fuck. Shrimp prawns on the barbie.
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah. It's a very important ceremony where we put shrimp on the grill.
See, what an avatar is they mix the DNA of the people with the natives. God damn it.
So yes,
Wig is cutting off circulation in my brain.
It sounds like that is the natural like pause there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do we think that maybe this was I swung back around to evil again.
Mm-hmm.
What if she's planning on using the humans to spread to Earth?
Ooh.
Interplanetary.
Well, I don't know. She's at what point is she like helping out the humans?
Interplanetary.
That doesn't answer my question.
Interplanetary. I don't think she can go interplanetary now that I think about it, because like she's like nerve cells connected to each other, and like the synapse cannot be 4.4 light years long. That is too much for a brain.
I think Pando is a good example that we should talk about here.
Oh, you're familiar with Pando?
Yes, we've talked. I know we have spoken in our world building about Pando before, which I think is very likely part of the name of what inspired Pandora.
Well, I mean,
a piece of the puzzle.
A piece of the box, maybe.
Yeah, you've said that Eywa's name is kind of a jumbling of Yahweh.
Yes, that's true.
But there's also several things on the wiki here that like list like, oh, that's very similar to this Celtic god and this and yeah. So I think it's very possible there's multi sources.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess a question for you is if we like did an Eywa terrarium, like a little Pandora in a jar.
That's adorable.
I'm curious if that would work, because if it would work, I think it would be able to spread.
I don't think it would be able to connect to the bigger Eywa.
Oh, no, but it would...
But then again...
I'm thinking about, like, in the same way that you would graft off, like, a branch of a tree to make a new one. In the same way I clone my basil.
She can connect to the Na'vi just kind of inherently, even though they're not, like, tied into the earth.
They're not physically touching.
Even when they're not cued in... Like, she can kind of be with them. The banshees in the sky?
Yeah, we were pointing out all the sky creatures. It's weird that they're connected somehow to this thing where there's a very manual plug-in.
Mm-hmm. So if she can transmit information through just atmospheric particles, can she do it through the interstellar medium?
That's a good question. I think distance might be the qualm there. Is that like sure the atmosphere is everything can be connected within that a planet itself. I get that, but yeah, once you take it away, I guess my question is, does it become another something? Do we get like a duplicate Eywa, a clone of Eywa 2?
I think so, yeah. We get a tiny Eywa that can maybe be like as powerful as like a calculator watch.
Well, I was saying that's the thing about terrariums. Everything's balanced inside there. You basically make an equal ecosystem anyway.
Okay, yeah. She would like that.
Yeah, I think she would. So,
so we could make Earth into a Pandora.
Yes, slowly.
But without the unobtainium, like, it wouldn't be able to transmit.
I think so. I think it would fail on Earth without... Because, yeah, you put one of those little, desktop-sized pieces of unobtainium in the terrarium to make it work.
Oh, okay, that's fun.
Yeah.
Hey, how much time do we have left?
We're at 30 minutes.
Oh, solid, good, because here's my biggest point.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my biggest selling point here.
Got it?
I think... maybe the concept of Eywa not being able to go interplanetary is important. Maybe she's trying to, because she's trying to find some lost children. I think maybe there was a sentient species on Pandora that developed technology and left, and was exiled, as a matter of fact. And this species had a strong warrior culture to fight all the many horrible beasts of Pandora's jungles. It lived in a jungle environment. It had bioluminescent qualities, maybe specifically in its blood rather than externally, which is... I don't understand what the point of bioluminescent blood is if you can't see it outside of the organ, whatever.
I don't know of any kind of hunter in fiction that can make that description.
Maybe they have a cultural value of following a strict code that comes from the fact that they used to live under Eywa's mind control, sort of hive mind thing.
Could they have dreadlocks like the Na'vi?
And maybe one of those dreadlocks used to be the Q that it connected to Eywa with at some point before they were severed and stunted by an evolutionary mastermind. And maybe I'm talking about the Predators, the Yautja, baby.
Mm-hmm. The Predators.
Landed that theory like Torith Mach 2, baby.
It makes sense. You've pitched this before to me.
Yeah, no, yeah. It makes perfect sense. The Predators are from Pandora.
Mm-hmm. And they're also, like, zooming out big time. It's like, that's the era that James Cameron, like, made all his babies.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I wish I made you. Wait, I can. And it goes into the lab for 20 years.
Yeah.
Comes out with Na'vi.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So if we tie that in further, if we can get a little silly with this.
Yeah, sure.
So
Predators are silly.
Predators are pretty
silly. They got the crazy face. They laugh.
They do have the crazy face. But then again, don't the Banshees and the Thanators and stuff, they've got, like, the teeth that come out a bit?
I think they've got a similar face.
They've got, not entirely, but pretty similar in some ways, yeah.
The reptilian features,
Mm-hmm.
they're very scaly. Oh. We pointed that out.
Oh, Adam, why would you need two sets of eyes?
So that you could see around you?
So that you could see different spectra.
Mm.
Because the eyes look different also.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, so maybe the Predators have one set of eyes that is like the other set of eyes, and so that's why they can see infrared so well.
Mm.
You forgetting what the Predators look like?
Well, I want to, I do this this is a coincidence to do this every month.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, great timing.
Yeah.
You've just Googled
Predator face.
Predator face, yeah. So the Predators developed, like, this hunting culture, and they eventually found out, like, and Eywa was like, okay, well, I guess people hunt. I guess that's fine, probably. And then it turns out, like, they were maybe, like, hunting too many of the predators.
What?
They were letting the herbivore population go out of control. The herbivores were eating too many plants, and Eywa was like, okay, now you're fucking with me.
Eywa's all about balance. So having a hunter of this caliber on the planet is clearly offsetting things.
Right. She cut them off from herself and hardened their hearts, and they were developing spaceship technology and stuff. They just left. Maybe the Na'vi fought them a bit.
Well, it could be a...
And maybe when they were out in space, they found some xenomorphs. And now they're planning on bringing them back, Avatar 2.
But really quick, it could be a culture reset that happened on Pandora. Mm-hmm. That the first culture was very technologically advanced, and that's what taught Eywa that technology bad.
Mm.
And that, like, this is the ultimate, like, downside.
Wait a minute. Engineers. The engineers built Eywa.
You think this goes back all the way to tie that in?
I think this goes back all the way to the engineers that made the xenomorphs, and...
Well,
that's why there's a uniform humanoid body plan throughout the galaxy, is that she knows what they look like.
Yeah, the engineers kind of started that off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she knows, like, okay, I'm gonna make the engineers. I like the tall thing. I don't like the, like, muscly thing or the white thing, so I'm gonna go with blue. And maybe
blue's my favorite color, so I'm gonna make them all that.
Maybe a tail. That's fun. Gotta make them hot. I'm gonna make these super hot. I don't have that much gravity, so, like, they're gonna be all, like, tall and supermodel-y, so I better make them just, like, smoke show. No, they can't set fires, though. They can't set too many fires, though. I don't like that. Not really a smoke show.
Right. Fire bad.
If I'm a plant goddess, fire's pretty bad.
Fire bad.
Yeah. So that is my dream is to see the Predator AVPVNVRDAV whatever
mRNA.
The Firefly crew shows up. Because they've got the Weyland-Yutani tech in, like, the first episode, so they're tied in. The Blade Runner people, Ryan Gosling just shows up, and, like, the replicants and the avatars share, like, some technological kind of, like, the same thing going on there.
The shot of Earth that we saw in the beginning is looks like a very Blade Runner-y future.
There is an alternate opening that is set on Earth.
Yes.
That is very Blade Runner-y,
mm-hmm.
The whole thing. I think that alternate opening is a crime that they got rid of that, because it really shows, like, how shitty the Earth is. Horrifyingly, everybody's wearing masks to show how bad the Earth is, and that's just not great.
It gives Sam Worthington something else to do.
It does give Sam Worthington
other than be
else.
a Mr. Blank Slate.
Yeah, no, he's like in a bar and he's doing some like drinking games with people, and like he pulls himself out of his chair and starts beating this guy that hit his girlfriend.
Yeah, no, it's a real. And then he gets thrown out of the bar with his wheelchair.
Yeah. And then, like, the 2x2 Hands of Blue guys from Firefly show up, and they're like, is this the one? Yes, it would appear to be.
That's the one part that I did not like at the intro, them walking in, like, lockstep.
Honestly, the whole movie is so cliche. You can't not appreciate, like, a good... I will say the fashion choices of the people on Earth are interesting. Mm-hmm. Everybody's wearing a porcelain mask on like their hips or shoulders as some kind of an accessory for some reason.
Yeah, the world building of Earth culture.
And besides that, everybody's just dressed like it's 2009.
Yeah, I gotta point out that the Earth culture in the year 2154 is very upsetting. That they still have cigarettes.
Oh yeah,
they make references to Wizard of Oz.
Mm-hmm. That movie is 220 years old.
And jujubes. Like, what the...
Jujubes have got to be canceled by then.
Easily.
I don't know what jujubes are, but they sound racist.
Oh, God. I would agree entirely. I'm pretty sure, like, they're one of those candies that no one eats anymore.
Yeah. What is a jujube? The jujube tree is sacred to my people.
It's apparently...
There's a drag queen named
There's a drag queen, yeah.
Okay.
Food?
Okay, is it fruit?
Yeah.
Go to the Wikipedia.
I think it's one of those plant things that we mentioned earlier.
Plant.
Yeah, it's a snack.
Chinese date or Chinese apple, red date. Who knows if it's actually from really China?
Interesting.
We didn't find out if the name is racist.
No.
So do we want to talk about our Avatar 2 and 3 pitch?
Yes.
Because I want to see the Predators, but this is also a good idea.
But really quick, I would like to pose a quick question for you.
Oh, good. A tangent.
The Squatch Lorette.
Good point.
Does Eywa get a rose?
Yes. Power.
Power?
Power.
All the power of the planets.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's going to be really, really weird in this lineup next to Slender Man and orcs.
Well, that reminds me of a plan that I had.
Okay.
The Squatchler.
Okay.
Aha.
Yes.
Twisted it on you.
What do you got?
Oh yeah, by the way, that's why we did the Squatchlerette and the Squatchler. This is the first time I've been out as trans on the show, and that also has happened. So, we all know that I'm down for the Na'vi.
Mm-hmm.
Are you?
Oh man, you're really putting me on the spot with that.
Putting you on the stripe.
They're very lanky.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are into that.
You're kind of lanky, actually.
Yeah, I guess that's why I am not.
You are them. You are the same.
I am definitely the same.
I will introduce you to my cousin on the other side.
Yeah,
cousin. There we go.
I don't know about it. I think I'd definitely go out on a date with one.
Okay.
I don't know if we'd find anything in common. I think she might pound a mustard bottle.
Okay, we're going too. We're going too far into our pitch. Okay, so Avatar 2.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so the basic summary of this is the Avatar 2 villain is Pete Buttigieg, and it has a downer ending.
Yeah, the concept that we kind of came up upon was that we weren't crazy about the white savior aspects that's still maintained in that one.
Of course not.
And so much kind of native culture, I guess, recognition has happened in the past 13 years.
Representation has gotten marginally better.
And I think there's definitely an awareness, more so.
There's more of a social justice awareness now than there was in 2009.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And because of that, I think a better narrative story is something that embraces that. Is that Jake Sully recognizes his role a little incorrect. And him coming to terms with that. Now as the leader of the Na'vi, facing a threat that only the Na'vi should be able to solve.
So the concept is Pete Buttigieg comes to Pandora, and when we say Pete Buttigieg, we mean like the archetypical, like, well-meaning neoliberal who is extremely corporate friendly, does not see the problem with being extremely corporate friendly, and does not realize that he is acting just purely as a tool of the military industrial complex, despite not wanting to blow up a home tree.
Yeah.
There's more insidious ways to do that same thing. And in a large way, that's what Jake Sully does, is he has soft power. He takes control of the Na'vi religiously rather than with big guns.
Right. Yeah, it's something of like, if nice humans showed up,
Right.
that like, oh man, we love your culture, we want to learn more about it. Check out some of our culture.
Yeah, the humans try and like win over the Na'vi with trinkets, and they like set up like a school, just like Grace Augustine did. But Grace Augustine, I think, Sigourney Weaver, I think she knew what she was doing when she set up a school for the natives, because schools for the natives, as they are, a tool of cultural genocide.
Right. We're like paving the way to a like Walmart's and McDonald's on Pandora almost.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So, where there's too much of cultural erasure.
Culture, right? Yeah, cultural genocide.
Genocide, yeah.
This is a form of genocide, is setting up a school for the natives where you teach them English and you cut their hair and you teach them to dress normal. And you teach them about Jesus, and you forbid them from learning about the Cherokee language or anything like that, and all that kind of horrible stuff. And you basically stamp out the culture of the native people and replace it with your own. And what Grace Augustine was doing, I think, was being like, hey, so we're going to bring in some elders from the tribe, and the kids are going to learn what they would learn from the tribes people, but also, hey, we're going to teach them some Earth stuff. This is our language. This is what we do here on Earth. This is what Earth technology is like.
Yeah.
And I think she was aware of the concept of using re-education as a form of genocide, and she was actively not doing that. So if somebody comes in and sets up a school, just like Grace Augustine did, and
doesn't have that same finesse,
doesn't have that same thought process, then all of a sudden, and like
there's easily an evil version of that.
Yeah, they bring in giant blue jeans and say like, dress normal, no more loincloths.
Yeah, here is underwear.
Oh,
you should be ashamed of what you're wearing.
Underwear.
Again. Yeah, and that's
Eywa's just like, who told you were naked? Fuck this.
And that's the conflict. Eywa is upset.
Yes.
That Pandora has become unbalanced by this.
I will say, this is basically the plot of the Disney theme park.
Yeah, right. Which is, I do not know if that would sell.
So the theme park in Disney's Animal Kingdom, the story of that is basically like, Alpha Centauri Explorations came into a part of Pandora called the Valley of Moara, where there's this pod that lets people breathe. They're the good company, and they made a deal with the Na'vi that the humans can come and visit whenever they want. And all we have to do is... and like
big companies are good.
Yeah, not like a bad corporation, like a good guy giant corporation brought to you by Disney.
This big corporation should own everything.
Right, yeah, exactly. And the haunting thing about that is there's all this like immersive stuff. There's all these like plants, and like the footsteps that you walk will like glow in certain parts. Mm-hmm. And yet there's no Na'vi anywhere.
They didn't bring in Na'vi?
They didn't.
I could have sworn they had like character actors that would be Na'vi.
No, because they're so committed to immersion that they can't have like people that are 9 feet tall walking around. And so their solution was there's just an eerie lack of Na'vi here.
That's really bad.
Like, there's this picture in the cafe. I did some research on this with Jenny Nicholson's review of this theme park, which I can highly recommend. But there's this picture in a cafe of like some businessmen with like giant shovels, and one of the Na'vi like laying the foundation for this very cafe that you're on at a groundbreaking ceremony.
Literally
That thing,
yeah.
The thing that the Na'vi would probably love to do.
Yeah, I'm so excited to hurt Eywa.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
I'd love to see the CSI like zoom in on that Na'vi, and you see that's really an avatar. It's got 5 fingers.
Oh yeah. The Na'vi have 4 fingers, and instead of traditional joints like we do, they have like just long curved bones that bend almost like how your radius and ulna can twist around themselves. Mm-hmm. And it's reinforced with carbon like naturally occurring carbon nanofiber, which is it's cool world building that they did.
Mm-hmm.
They did some cool world building. It ultimately came to, this is like a rhino, but like different, I guess. This is like a tiger, but like different, I guess.
But you can't shoot it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Certain rhinos can't really stand to certain calibers. Well, that's true. But anyway, so Eywa's mad at Pete Buttigieg, and so she blows up the Pandora yellow supervolcano. She's just like, okay, like, the Na'vi are like...
She Fallen Kingdoms them is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Na'vi are just like, they've completely sold out.
Yeah, they've lost their culture.
They've lost the culture entirely over the course of, like, maybe a couple years. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's been a couple years in between movies anyway, so...
We start kind of mid this conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
essentially, Jake Sully and the other Na'vi have to get on a shuttle to Earth. And then Avatar 3 is on Earth, and the Na'vi have to go into human Avatar so they can breathe on Earth. And literally all that I want is for Neytiri to drink mustard like it's a drink.
Yeah, to have that conversation.
Yeah, just like the Starfire scene of, like, I love this beverage that you call... What is it called? That's mustard. Wonderful! Like, I just want that to be the case there.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the idea of exploring Earth through Na'vi eyes in later sequels. But I assume they're just gonna go, like, you know, to the deep depths of the ocean with an Andy Serkis villain of some kind.
They're making 5 movies. They're gonna go to Earth eventually.
Ears open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how much time do we have?
I think we're at time.
Okay, well, I have one last thing to take us home before we go to our final segment here.
What you got?
So, speaking of that theme park, I wanted to talk briefly, just a little bit of immersion.
Okay.
About the smells of the Pandora theme park. Jenny Nicholson identified it as like Pirates of the Caribbean, but with methane.
That does not sound nice.
Well, so when you go to a theme park, like, especially like Disney, they pioneered this technology. They pump smells into the air.
They Imagineered this technology. They
Imagineer smells into the air. Like, you go down Main Street and it smells like vanilla or something.
Yeah. You're walking through the castle and it smells like golden bricks.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I figured I found a description of the smell of the Pandora theme park from the Orlando Informer.
Okay, what's it smell like?
The dewy aroma that first hits you when arriving at Pandora is a mix between a fresh-cut lawn and the smell after it rains on a warm day.
That's a good... on paper, that's a good math.
However, the scents here change. Some are sweet from the flowers that produce them, while others are foul gases that smell as though they come from pockets in the earth, much like a sulfur spring.
That's the worst part of the Disney park experience in my mind, is when you go on a ride and something farts at you. It happens way too often. Someone burps or farts or sprays you with water. The water spraying, I get it, but the like...
Oh, hold on, my phone's almost out of battery.
Alright.
Eywa. Alright. Others are so natural that you don't even notice them until you realize you are smelling something that is actually man-made without a natural scent belonging to it. The thought Disney placed in creating this world and going to the lengths of changing its aromas is something that is extremely impressive and illustrates its urge to compete with other immersive theme park lands.
Name one is all I have to say about that.
Harry Potter World at Universal Studios.
And it's full of smells?
Yes.
Okay.
Butterbeer and stuff.
I know.
You know.
And a butterbeer.
The smell of transphobia on the air. Oh, man. Oh, why does it smell like Axe body spray?
Why does it smell like nacho cheese Doritos?
It smells like a Coldplay album and the Kia Summer Sales event. Oh god, the Straits. They found me.
Run. Hide. If you smell Chick-fil-A sauce, run faster. What are your thoughts about those smells?
I honestly was not really that clear on that smell technology. I didn't know about that ahead of time, and that's cool.
Last I heard of smell-o-vision was like in a Rugrats film. So I'm glad it's getting used somewhere.
Yeah.
I just wish it wasn't used for evil, which it's like the flavored jelly beans thing. It's like, what are you doing? Why are you making these vomits?
What? It's just sulfur. Sulfur's a good smell.
Really?
Yeah.
Sulfur is rotten eggs.
Yeah, it's good.
I would disagree on that strongly.
Well, rotten eggs smell like sulfur, and sulfur smells like good. It smells like hell or something.
I think we're...
Reminds me of home.
Yeah, we've connected the dots fully. All right, let's go to the final rating, please.
Yeah, so Avatar 3, Neytiri drinks mustard. So where would you rank
Eywa,
your and my tree computer goddess?
Well, I'm definitely... Eywa gained points this episode for me. I think that she is very powerful, and she, I think, there's definitely more going on there and more to explore, and I love that in a feature, when there's room for you to imagine. And I think we did some good stuff with that, with the Alien Predator universe tech.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll give Eywa a 7.5 out of 10.
You really do circle around 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I guess so.
I have all these graphed. I should plug in the last few episodes, because it has been... Alright, so, like I said, I started out this episode hating Eywa to a degree, or thinking that Eywa was evil. And, as I also said... Eywa is evil, and she's right.
But you've gone full Jake Sully native.
Jake Sully.
Thank you. Finally, you completed your arc of clicking rights.
My arc of clicking rights.
Yeah.
Close enough. So, Eywa earned a lot of points for me this episode as well. And I will say that now that I know more about her, I relate to her more.
Yeah.
And that is something that I think all gods should take into account, is just tell me that you're plants. We can be friends.
Eywa's very upfront.
Yeah, just tell me that we're plants. And just tell me that you're plants, and it's good.
Yeah. What so to answer the question that we proposed, what's she doing? She's plants.
She's plants.
She's plants.
She's plants, and she just wants to not die or have her brain fucked up by farms and factory farming. It's the number one source of deforestation and habitat destruction and global warming on Earth. So
it makes sense. It literally ruined Earth in the same movie. Farming
is a horrible practice. We should all be like the Na'vi, and there should only be a couple thousand of us, and I get to pick who dies. So given all that, I'm gonna give Eywa you know what? I'm done being mean. Eywa's done a lot for me.
Okay.
I'm gonna give Eywa a 10 out of 10.
All right. I think that might be where my instincts lie in going to 7 out of 10. All right, we can't have a perfect monster.
Right, and no, sometimes we can.
Yeah, sometimes we can.
Sometimes we can. It's like that English teacher thing of I'm not going to give out an A+, because no piece of writing is perfect. Okay, well...
What are we doing here, then?
Yeah, what are we doing here, then? My math teacher doesn't know that, and so when, my English grade isn't as good as my math grade, then, it's gonna look like I'm better at math than English, and then, my parents are gonna be all oh, well, you should major in something or other instead of English, because you're not as good in that, and it's well, it's because, fucking Mr. doesn't give, higher than a B+. And what I like about saying Mr. there is that sounds like a made-up name. But it was actually just our high school English teacher, and we should probably bleep that.
Yes. All right. Tune in next time when we come back to Earth and get into the thick of things. We get down, dirty, wet, and messy.
Hiya, Love! That means until next time. But you have to shout it, or else it doesn't count.
Hiya, Lumen!
Hiya, Love!
Hiya, Love!
Hiya, Love!
Hiya, Love!
Hiya, Love!
No, it's shit.